Brad here, and today I'm going to teach you how to play Shout About It, which is the song that I just played. Some of you guys might know the song. It's a song of our first album, and it's an acoustic-driven song. It's one of my favourites that we've ever released, and the whole song is based around an acoustic guitar riff in the verse that switches up to a different progression in the chorus. So I'm going to start off by teaching you guys the verse progression. Now, I'm going to start with a very beginner level, kind of bass level approach, because the song is based around chords that are the first set of chords that you really learn if you are picking up guitar for the first time. So in the verse, the set of chords that you're going to use are these. So you have a G in the traditional G shape, you have a D, and then you walk from the G through an F sharp into an E minor to a C, back to a G. So again, the chords that you're going to be using and the shapes that you need to know for the verse in this are a G, a D, a G that has an F sharp in the bass, an E minor, and a C. Nice. So hopefully you guys have got that. We'll start off, and the best way that I tend to learn riffs or progressions is to slow them right down. So you get your shapes right and you understand the kind of movement throughout the verse, and you slow them right down and you slowly build them up to a pace that you're happy with, or eventually get to the pace that the song is at. So I guess the best place to start is, I've shown you the shapes that we have on the left hand. The right hand, now this is the strumming pattern. It is finger picking, so if you're familiar with that, you should get the hang of this very quickly. But it starts with a kind of down, up, down, up, in the G. So you go down, up, and then all together. So that's that. I'll do that again, slightly slower. Move to the D, down, up, down on the G. So that's the first beginning section. I've added a little bit in between there, but you don't need to do that, or you can add them as you start and get more confident. But one thing that is really nice as a placeholder is a slight tap on the strings when you get in between those two phrases. So it goes that little placeholder there. And then we're going to move on to the rundown, which is in this G shape. You just move your index finger onto the F sharp on the low E there. So you get that. So all together, that's. Keeping the pinky finger and the ring finger on the third fret on both the E and the B. Through there to land on an E minor. There. Strumming pattern across those. Sorry, that might be a lot. I'll slow that down again and play it. Move through. Down, up on that E. Then you move straight into the C. Just down. Back to the G for down, up, up. All together it goes like this. There you go. And when you so just play around with that. I think initially the best thing to do is get the hang of the shapes and the way that they fall, because there's a lot of information there in quite a small phrase, with the movement in between the G and the D. But that is your verse. So that's, just practice that, go around the houses with it, really hone in on it, and the timing. And I think the bit that might get a bit tricky is that rundown, that. But just practice that little shift from the G to the F sharp, and you'll be fine. There you go. I'm going to move on to the chorus now, and then I'm going to come back over a few bits. But the chorus, which goes like this. Seems like a lot of information, but once we break it down, it's actually a lot simpler than it looks or feels. So it's just the chords that you're going to use in this. I'll show you like I did in the verse. You use an A minor, so you're going to need to know an A minor shape. We walk through a B to get to a C. So it's kind of like an A minor, but with the maintaining that kind of your index finger on the first fret on the B string. And then your second finger is going to go to the B to get to the C shape. So you're going to need to know the C shape. E minor again, which we've already used. B minor here. Then we walk down here halfway through the chorus from a B minor to an A sharp minor. To an A minor again. D, which you already know. C. So they're the only chords that you need. A minor, moving through the B, C, E, and a B minor. Okay, so hopefully you guys are familiar with those chords. Strumming pattern on the right hand on this is a little bit more complicated than the verse, just because it's got a bit more movement in it as the vocal picks up and you kind of want to fill out the space underneath the vocal. So it goes down, up, and that's where we get that movement through the B. So it's down, 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 up, up. I'm moving through the B on the A string. So down, there we go. Down, 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 up on the C. E minor, down, up, up. B minor, down, up, up. So let's focus in on that. So that B minor, when you start moving down, is all together. So it's not a down, up. It's a... You're catching all the strings at the same time now. Down, up, down, up. D together. C, down, up, down, up. Back to the verse. So again, like the verse, and like my advice throughout any guitar playing, whether it's very high-end complicated stuff or whether it's just chords or whatever it is just slow it all down. That's the easiest way to do it. There's no rush. But what that will do is instill a bit of muscle memory and some confidence in the chords and the way that you are moving throughout the song. So just slow it right down, get a hold of all of those shapes and get them feeling confident with your playing, and then just get the rhythm in your right, which again is solely focused around really a down, up, up pattern. So just get familiar with those and then just slow it right down. There's a couple in there that for maybe the slightly more advanced players, or if you are experimenting with like different shapes of chords. So an E minor traditionally is obviously there, but you can add in this high on the 3rd fret on the E and the B, with just like your G shape, it has that shape in there. You can do that over your E minor, so you get really like rich full sound. But that's just like a little bit of flair. You you are more than capable of doing it just over a traditional E minor shape. But that's really all the information that you need to kind of get going with Shout About It and get learning it. It's a beautiful song to play, it's a lot of fun to play, and I mentioned earlier we could go back and practice some kind of flair on it. Over the years of playing it since we released it, and we've added it in, brought it in and out of tours. There was a couple of tours where we played it consistently, and then we haven't played it on the past couple. But it kind of changes every time I play it, and that's purely because there's a lot of licks that you can add in, so whether that's hammer-ons or pull-offs or little kind of just journeys around the chords, but I'll show you how I tend to kind of add a bit of flair into it. So they're just really simple techniques that you might learn quite early on in your guitar career, but they do add a hell of a lot, and they add a lot of your personalities where you choose to use them or not. And I would encourage anyone to not feel too put in a box with, if just because I'm going, if you prefer to go or whatever it is in the right key, but whatever it is, have a play around, because that's where you're going to get your guitar personality and your kind of identity across. And if you're a young player in a band, or you are a solo artist who wants to start experimenting with your own guitar personality, this is the way to do it, is to really just go, actually, I prefer doing this. So this is what I like to do. On the D in the verse, I tend to hammer on from the 2nd fret on the E up to the 3rd fret, and it sounds like this. So still around the D shape, I just hammer on from the 2nd to the 3rd with my pinky. And then on the C shape, I hammer on from an open to the 2nd fret on the D string. And then I play an open G string. And then I do a kind of hammer on pull off on the 2nd fret. All together it sounds like that, so it's a hammer on onto the 2nd fret on the D string, from an open to an open on the G string, and a hammer on pull off on the 2nd fret. And then you land back on the G, and that's a nice little riff that you can kind of add in a lot of other songs that you're playing at kind of any speed, so it works really nicely. And Shout About It, I've liked using it, but it might be a little tip that you start using throughout all your others, and you can kind of start adding it into your Fs, because it's got a similar kind of shape to the C. So they're just nice little noodles and ways of getting between chords and progressions. I hope that's helped. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. If there's any other if there's any other songs that you guys want to learn, please do let us know, and we will make sure to take some time out to try and put some guitar tutorials or bass, or maybe I should try doing a singing tutorial at some point. However, I still feel like I need those myself. But if there is any aspiring young musicians who are following us and want to know, then just drop us a message and we will try and help you out. That was Shout About It. Stay tuned for more. Lots of love.